hump day, if you will, this last full week of April. As doing so, everything with the conversation has been about where we could see ourselves by the end of the month, getting ourselves to some normalcy, opening things back up as the government's working with the governors of the states to see what their options are, what their guidelines will be, and so on and so forth. Now, with that comes the idea of returning to the workforce for a lot of us. Now, there's a lot of people working from home and such, but there's a lot of people we know that aren't working right now. Now, in lieu of that, as we have our spot here for higher education, as we have the Associate Vice President of Career and Professional Programs, Dr. Jennifer Frynes, and the Dean of Business, Technology, Career, and Technical Education, Dr. Rob Wolfe, on the air. Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Good morning.
Good. Glad to have you with us.
Good morning, Adam.
You got it. Glad to have you with us here. And we're going to be talking a little bit about, so to speak, returning to the workforce. As we know, everything in lieu of COVID-19 and everything everybody's been dealing with, we wanted to talk to you guys as with Central Florida, University of Central Florida, just talking about, so to speak, what to do right now and how to hurry up and wait, be patient, and then what to do when it's time to return to the workforce.
I'm going to let Dr. Wolfe get started a little bit talking about some of the programs that we have at College of Central Florida.
There you go.
Okay. Well, right out of the box, I mean, really everybody at home right now, it's a good time if they are at home, really start thinking about, you can go back to school and that could be online. And if you are going to be out of work for a while, I mean, there's plenty of programs that you can get with a certificate out of the box or a 2-year degree, an associate in science degree. And these are in areas that are really in high demand, even right now, under the situation. For a good example of that would be our logistics and supply chain AS degree, and with all the distribution centers in the area, they need workers. And of course, Dollar Tree is going to be coming in within the next year. Along with what we have right now with FedEx and Chewy and AutoZone. So all those distribution centers, they still need jobs, and we have 2-year degrees that can help lead you into high-skill, high-wage jobs in management. Also, IT. IT is a big area right now, and a lot of those careers you can work remotely, and so we have industry certifications that are part of that 2-year degree, and really employers look at those industry certifications and everything from office administration to where you can get certifications in Microsoft Office and developing those skills, spreadsheet applications for Excel. We have a business administration program, and really, when it's all said and done, the question is, what program are you interested in? And we'd likely be able to find a fit for you.
Right. Like you said, what would you be interested in finding the fit for you? And, with this all kind of happening like it did, I can imagine some people are looking in different directions now of thinking about things they could do to not only set themselves up, like you said, with the mentioning of a degree to get them in a better a job placement to earn more, but also thinking about the security of knowing that if something were to happen like this again, I would have the security of knowing I might still be one of the ones working if something like were to happen like this again. When you mentioned like the IT and then some of the business admin, which a lot of those jobs we know have been working from home. I have a few friends of mine that have gotten their associates with that, and they have been working from home, and it kind of gives some people some of that extra thought of security when looking at, is this right for me?
Especially IT in particular. As you stated, I mean, I have a nephew, for example. He is working at home right now in IT. So it really is a secure job, and it's recession-proof, so to speak, for the most part. And a lot of these positions are like that. It's a matter of getting those skills and making yourself marketable. So, I mean, we have the skills in other areas, engineering technology, for example, and we have 3 different specializations. We just started a specialization last year in electronics, and Lockheed Martin, a lot of those employees are going through that 2-year engineering technology program right now. So not only is it those who are out of work, but those who are working right now and want to advance their degree. This is the ideal situation to go ahead and do that, and the time to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's that was the general topic for you, is to start thinking about what you can do to let the public know that, like, hey, there's still opportunities, even though things started to look dire straits with the COVID-19, and then, a lot of people thinking about their financial security and thinking about what can I do next with all of this going on, and it adds a level of anxiety there. But this is why we had you guys on, is to kind of speak to the community and say that there's options out there that aren't as hard to navigate to get to this like you think, and with that gives just a little sense of calm there, saying that there's opportunities, and there's opportunities within our county, and there's opportunities with you guys to see some of that be fulfilled.
And we want people to know that they really don't have to do that alone. The college is there for you to help you navigate that. I think it makes so much sense for people to want to latch on to career paths that match up with their interests. But right now, more than ever, we know whether you're a high school junior or senior, or you're an adult who's re-careering, it makes sense for you to naturally gravitate towards those, as you said, recession-proof jobs. So a few of those that I want to mention that people should really give some thought to if they haven't already. When you're mindful of those ups and downs of the job market, some career paths that I think are great to look at. I mean, I'd start with our health sciences field. At CF, we have these top-notch programs, especially our nursing program. A lot of individuals want to earn that RN degree, that 2-year registered nursing degree. And I want people to know that they can come to us for that, for the class that they need for that. They can continue on with that Bachelor of Science in Nursing right here in our community. They never have to leave. We have an innovative curriculum and a state-of-the-art SIM center and doctorally prepared faculty. And the feedback we get from our clinical partners is that our graduates are the most prepared, so that it's really a solid decision no matter what's going on, especially now in the industry. You're always going to have a job. But in addition to that, we have our emergency medical services, dental assisting. Some people don't know that we have surgical tech and radiography and physical therapy assisting. The job growth in those fields is excellent. Our job placement rates for those students is about as high as it could be, with really high pass rates on their industry and certifications. Another one that I would mention, with everybody who's got kids at home right now, and they're probably schooling as I do, they're probably having renewed interest and appreciation for teachers as they should. And so teacher education is truly one of those enduring professions. But it just so happens to be, as many of these fields are, incredibly rewarding. I'm the child of 2 teachers, and I can say that from personal perspective. CF's programs in teacher education put a real special emphasis on early childhood education, but of course we have the initial 2 years to get you onto any education pathway. And I want to say something about so many of our programs are structured for the working individual, and this is one of those, the blend of online and evening classes that you can have there are entry points and exit points, so you can come to us with some experience and we'll give you some college credits for that experience. You can stop out and work for a while and then come back, so you can get your 2-year degree or just a college credit certificate even, and then you can come back to us and pretty seamlessly complete that bachelor's degree. And a lot of students, I've seen them work the entire time. They don't have to stop working to complete those degrees. And then the other one I'd mention for our workforce is also our public safety and our law enforcement programs. Those are some of the most collaborative programs that you'll ever see, in the sense that we work with the city and with the county and with the correctional system. Those students, many of them, have jobs from day one, so they come to us with a paid job in hand. We give them that education and that credential, and when they exit, they are already employed, ready to go to work. And I think right now, for health sciences, teacher education, first responders, these are the folks that we have a special appreciation for, and so you can see why those jobs are really, really rewarding.
Absolutely. It's kind of like saying, if you want some some proudness to what you do with the professionalism. That's the idea. And what I think is interesting is, you let's put it this way: unfortunately, for a lot of the seniors this year who didn't have the normality that was for most of the other generations, being able to finish their school year and everything, their senior year, and have these times, like we would say right now within this month, to start thinking about May and then where they're going to be for college at the end of the year. There's just so much of a distraction right now, right? So that puts everybody a little anxious, and even the parents, when they start thinking about, okay, how would my son or daughter be able to get to a point where they could get themselves financially secure? And then I know a lot of parents think this way, that if something were to happen like this again, or just a dip in the economy where we would see a lot of unemployment stuff, what would be there for my son or daughter to achieve fairly quick, but then be able to still get the education they need fairly quick and then get the job placement as quick? I think that's a big thing that gets kind of overlooked when a lot of people start talking about the huge universities and these bigger degrees. But what you guys are pointing out is that these are things that are education that is necessary, and then look at how quickly the job placement can be. And that's beneficial in itself when you can be making a decent income and have more job security at the younger age. And then with that, you're able to, from there, continue the education when you've already been working at the job, so to speak. And like you said, it's kind of seamless to then wrap up for what you already have with the associates, to come back and continue while you're still working, to then finish up the bachelor's. And that's the difference, I think. And I'm getting a little passionate about it, because I think that's the difference in kind of what needs to be talked about more in society when it comes to education and joining the workforce. Because the idea is to get the education so that you're well educated enough to then get the job that you need for what you studied. Because you know as well as I do, a lot of people end up going to college and getting a degree, and then they're getting a job that doesn't really touch on much of what they actually spent the money for with the degree. And what you guys are saying is that these are the opportunities right here in the community that offers not only the stuff that most folks could be interested and feel proud to do it, but they can offer that quicker job placement, which is huge, because it's going to make you more financially secure, more job security, and it's going to make things better overall.
And I think one of the benefits that you touched on there, Adam, is really the flexibility that state colleges have.
Yeah.
And plus, as you stated, I mean, it is really the ties that we have in the business community. I mean, we have many internship possibilities set up, co-op programs for our programs. And as you stated, I mean, you can get your 2-year degree, and some of these programs, and certainly Dr. Frynes can talk about nursing and others, as she already did, but the engineering technology, for example, I mean, we have 100% placement rate on that program, and they're starting out at $45,000, $50,000 and a 2-year program. So you can be 20 years old, go work for a Lockheed Martin or another engineering type position in manufacturing, and then go back and get your engineering degree.
Right.
You can get that at, we have an articulation agreement, for example, with Daytona State College, which is a 4-year engineering program, which they can do primarily online. So with tuition reimbursement and financial aid and other things out there, you can advance pretty quickly and stay local and work local, which is really the one of the top benefits of the community college and state college.
Absolutely, and that's what we're.
You also. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead there.
You also talked about flexibility and that affordability, making sure that you can afford that degree. So I want to make sure that people know. I mean, CF's ranked top 1% in the nation about affordability, and I know people some of the state universities you referenced, sometimes students get these degrees and they're not really sure what they're going to do with it. For us, we take it as serious as the education and the grades we give students in those classes and the degrees we award. That placement is not an afterthought. That job placement is, like Dr. Wolfe said, with our internships and our co-ops, that placement is happening from day one. We're thinking, are you ready for this career? You got soft skills you need. That's why 95% of our students are working or continuing their education within a year of graduation. And we're really proud of that number because, like I said, we take that as much as the responsibility on our shoulders as the education that they get and the degree that they get. And I also want to make sure that people don't forget that our primary bread and butter is the AA program, so that's the Associate of Arts. Many students come to us to get those first 2 years of their bachelor's degree, and there are a lot of careers that require that bachelor's degree. So we're not saying those aren't important, but we are saying that students should also come to CF for those 2 years. A lot of people don't know that 50% of the students that are in the state university right now started out at their local community college. Mm-hmm. And the data shows our students that graduate from community college and then transfer to state university, they actually fare better, they complete faster, and their grades are slightly higher. Mm-hmm. So we get them on that first start because they have small classes, because we're able to personalize that education, and they save a lot of money as well, which means a lot to people.
Yeah, and like you said, I think overall too, it gets them in a groove. And when you already talk about the expectations of, like I say, a workforce, you know how you would go for as long as you could, hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You guys are already showing a spotlight right away that would entice them to say, well, man, this would be an opportunity for me to continue on, and I already know what the outcome's going to be, rather than just kind of shooting in the dark about what that degree would be at the bigger university. But you're saying what you guys offer already is that opportunity to see some light and then see where that job placement is, see where the workforce could be joined, and then you can go even farther from there. And I think the other thing you mentioned too, which is a huge thing, and especially right now, is just affordability. And I think overall too, I think when people look at bettering themselves, it's hard to get over certain things, certain humps, and one of those big things is time and money, and that's what you guys were touching on too. As you mentioned, the 1% that you guys are as ranked with affordability, and then how you can navigate that around schedules and everything else. That's huge, and that's what a lot of people need to understand, is that it can be done. I'm telling you that when I was graduating high school, which was many moons ago, it wasn't like that. And even with the opportunity of some of the community colleges and state colleges, it was a little convoluted, and it was a certain way. This is what's changing now, and you guys are on the forefront of that. And you're making that aware now. And because what's really needed is, which I heard this before, I heard it from you guys, is the idea that, if you can give folks who invest the time and money in the education here, you can also get them to kind of stay within the community and work here. And then that gives back when it comes to, taxes and all that, because it's different when you say like, oh, they're going to go there for school, and then there's a job opportunity somewhere else, and that's where they're going. But you guys are working, and how you are working is kind of keeping things within the community that gets people an opportunity to work right here in the community as they're doing this stuff, pursuing the education. And those are the big hurdles, like I said, with the time and money, that you guys are expressing that you can work well around here with CF.
And so you raise a good point that we have to really work with our employers. So Dr. Wolfe does a lot of that, and I do a lot of that. So it's not just making sure prospective students know, but with the internships and the co-ops, making sure that we have these clear communication with employers. I just want to throw my email out there in case anybody wants to shoot me an email. It's frynsj@cf.edu. And we have an employer connection newsletter. I'd be happy to put them on the list for them to receive. But also, if there's any employer out there who's interested in learning more about having a CF student as an intern or a co-op, if they want to reach out, and I'll send them to, we have a great staff member, Bonnie Hayes, who handles all that, and Dr. Wolfe, we'd love to hear from them as well.
And one more time with that email there, Doctor.
Sure, FRYNSJ@cf.edu.
Excellent.
And
like,
while we're doing that, can I share the web address as well, just that we would direct people to? So this is your call to action. Get your pen ready. This is www.cf.edu/YCF. And that'll take you to the basic page. We don't want people to think they have to wait. The college is open for communication, and we can get them information. And now is the time. Right now, right here, they can start the application process. We have summer classes happening in a couple of weeks. They really don't have to wait. They can come out of the other side of this crisis that we're in, already enrolled, already some classes behind them.
Right. And I think sometimes, too, as far as anybody who has an excuse, I'm sure if you're at home right now and have been for the last 3 weeks, you might have time. So give them a call and find out that information, too.
Right.
And that's the best part about it, like you said, is trying to get prepared so that when we come out of this, you're already ready to go. And, with that, too, that shows, and it has shown through a lot of educational courses in lieu of COVID-19, how the online stuff has been working, the distance learning, as so to speak, and how that works, and how you guys have been working with it. And like we said, as we're running out just a bit of time here, just to shout out to those guys, to say, to our listeners, they're there for you guys to take the calls, to answer the questions, and get those things set up. And with that, I was going to leave it to you guys. If there's anything else you want to plug, as we just got just a couple minutes left.
Well, I just want to say real quick, we didn't mention too much about our bachelor's degree options, and we were stating about the employers in the area, and really those 8 specializations that we have in the organizational management area really focus on, we're very selective on what programs that we offer and added. For example, we just added accounting not too long ago, and accounting is a specialization. There's a lot of demand out there for accounting, and of course we have logistics and general management and healthcare administration and public administration and others, but really a great opportunity for students to stay local here and get their 4-year degree.
Absolutely. Well,
and if anyone wants to get a little more information, there's virtual information sessions. There's even one happening today at 6 o'clock. And then also, if you go to our webpage, www.cf.edu/online classes, for those who are interested in fully online programs, you'll be able to see the nearly 20 fully online programs that we do offer.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys very, very much. As we said, higher education with Associate Vice President of Career and Professional Programs, Dr. Jennifer Frynes, and the Dean of Business Technology, Career and Technical Education, Dr. Rob Wolfe. Thank you guys very, very much. Stay healthy out there.
Adam.
You got it, and have a good weekend. You got it.
All right, take care now.
As we make our way toward the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour, you're listening to 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. And there you go, higher education, a lot of information there. We'll touch on it when we come back. WOCA Ocala. We'll come back, we'll round out our show. We've got a little bit of fun stuff to talk about, too. Thank you guys very much. We'll be back after this.
News. I'm Chris Foster. There are more than 45,000 coronavirus deaths reported in the United States now. That's